Okay, welcome back to Joe Murphy Lessons on Drums. And this is going to be lesson 2 for an extension of creating our first drum beat, as you saw in lesson number 1 there. And what I was doing there in the beginning is I was just moving around the kick drum pattern. And we learned in lesson 1, we learned to play a hand pattern involving eighth notes, counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We played the hi-hats on all 8 elements or 8 parcels of the measure. We played the snare drum on 2 and 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. And in your first beat that we learned, we put the kick drum on 1 and 3. So what I did here at the very beginning of this video is I just played a different combination, kind of every 4 measures of a different drum beat for you to learn. And I don't know if the math stands up, but when we talked about our eighth notes, we had 8 of them in a measure of 4/4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's possibly maybe 40,000 variations if we just keep mixing those around. Sometimes the word is permutation, but it's just messing them around. Imagine them like on a wheel, like Wheel of Fortune, and you just turn that wheel, and whatever happens, you just to come around to the beginning. We keep turning it different ways, and we just keep coming up with different variations of where any one particular eighth note could fall. So on this lesson, we're going to put the bass drum in just different slots on that grid. And I'm going to show you a couple of the go-to slots on the grid that probably will help you get playing music more quickly. But I would really encourage you to try to play as many different combinations of them on the bass drum line as you can. Of course, maybe the easiest one might be playing the bass drum on every single parcel or every single eighth note with the hi-hat. And it certainly has been used on a ton of cool rock beats. So that would absolutely work for you. So your challenge on this is going to be finding some interesting places to put the kick drum that's going to complement what you're doing on the hi-hats and the snare drum. So I have, I think, in addition to the first beat we learned in lesson 1, I have an additional 6 for you to learn today. That first one is going to be, we're going to put the bass drum on 1, the 3, and the and of 3. So that's going to be 1, 2. Great rock beat. Billions of songs have it. Sounds powerful. It drives. It's a hit tune with that beat whenever you use it. The next combination we're going to use is the We Will Rock You beat, you know, boosh, boosh, ga, you know, that whole thing. But we're going to play it a little bit more up-tempo, and we're going to play it with the hi-hats and snare drum. So let me count this off for you. 2, 3. Okay, can't go wrong with that one. So, and that drives a lot like if you were to put the kick drums across the grid, but gives it a little bit more space to breathe, okay? The next one we're getting into here confuses, I should say a lot, or kind of mixes up a lot of my students where they're not sure if they're playing the previous beat that I just played for you or the beat before that, your new beat for today, which was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The next beat falls on the kick drum is on 1, the and of 2, and 3, okay? So what that gives us is a 1, 2. And many, many times it gets confused with the new beat for today. So really look at the grid. The notes are only really, it's as if we took the bass drum and slid it over to the left, you know, 1 increment or 1 slot. By doing that, we create a whole different drum beat. Now, adding to that in a very nice way is to add the bass drum on the end of 4 as well on that. Okay, and you kind of get this heartbeat sound in the kick drum. Great beat, used on a ton of hits, ton of rock hits, pop hits, what have you. So the next one, I'm going to call it like a syncopated beat. And you'll, as you get further and further into your drumming, you'll hear the word syncopation, definitely from me. And what that means is putting the pulses of the drum beat in different areas of that puzzle or of that grid to create interesting sounding grooves. On this one, we're going to put the kick drum on beats 1, the end of 2, and the end of 3, creating a little bit more of what I'm going to refer to often as a syncopated beat. Sometimes it could be a groovy beat. So it's going to be. Okay, a lot of my students have a lot of fun with that groove. It kind of lends you into a bit of the funk side of drumming, or an introduction to that if you want. So for the last beat today, it's an interesting beat. It's very easy, and a lot of times I'll put it up in front of my beginning students, and they'll go, oh, I can do that. And then they'll play it, and it'll just still be a major malfunction. And what this drum beat is, it's what we call 4 on the floor. So there's the kick drum on beats 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this groove drives the beat big time. It can also create just a really full sound in the low end where it really can lend itself towards a great kind of pop dance sound feel. But again, I've heard this everything from maybe Pink Floyd track to an AC/DC track to a Michael Jackson track, Culture Club track, what have you. Something pop dance, you know. And so it goes across the board, and it should sound like this. So explore these beats. When you get good at each one individually, move them around, create multiple patterns, or I should say bigger musical sentences with that. Keep your hi-hats in your 2 and 4 with our anchor point that we learned in lesson number 1, but move that kick drum around. Move it around in even phrases, or I should say even counts. So there was an example of just moving them around in even phrases, of 4-bar phrases there. It takes your drumming to a new level there as far as expanding our musical sentences go. So I would encourage you, as I said earlier, to try as many of these combinations as you can, but also learn them as individual beats, where some songs, it will just have the 1-bar pattern. You should start to be thinking about being able to play these grooves for an average of 3 to 4 minutes a piece without stopping. Now that will include some drum fills or some breakdowns, musical terminology that we will get into when we're studying musical form. But your average song is anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes by most standards. So seems like a long time when you're learning to play these beats, but it goes by quick when you're having a lot of fun doing it. So explore your kick drum as far as this lesson goes. Count when you can, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and use that count. Like I said earlier, count when you're driving down the road, count when you're falling asleep. Put that count into your head so much it just becomes part of your DNA. So I'll leave you with this for today as our second lesson as far as increasing our ability to play different drum beats. And I will see you on lesson 3. Thank you.